Hey, this is Chris Simmons. I hope you're doing well. I want to just take about 5 or 10 minutes to remind you as a member how easy it is to introduce the ING to your customers. I think sometimes we make it more difficult. So I've just got a brief, short presentation I want to show you, and this will help you as you begin to let your customers know more about the ING. So let's get started here. And again, just 3 steps on how to introduce the ING to your customers. Number one, let's be honest about COVID-19. Since the pandemic, it's gotten harder to introduce people to our customers because it's harder to get in the door with them. Well, this is a good and bad thing. It's a bad thing if you don't have a relationship, but for those that have good relationship with their customers and that you see those customers, it's more important that you introduce your fellow members to them, because there may be a client or a customer that they know that you don't know. So if everybody will take this practice and begin to introduce, then we'll be able to really get the word out for not only just ING, but for your fellow members. So more than ever, customers continue to have specific needs within these plants and facilities. But customers now are more limited with all the COVID restrictions. We see that lessen, but it's still an issue in some of these plants. So customers still have needs. They still need to meet with quality suppliers. And so if you have a good relationship with a customer, then you need to do your best to introduce the ING in your fellow members in your chapter, because they are awarding business to someone. And why can that be you or your fellow members? But let's talk about these simple steps. How does a member, the ING, introduce their customers to other members? That seems very difficult, but it's pretty simple. And I think if we take it just like we were climbing stairs, let's take these first 2 or 3 steps and just evaluate them, so it will remind us how we're supposed to do this when we're in front of our client. Number one, the first step, you must first stop selling and start listening to your customers more often. We're so worried about selling what we produce or what our service is. Sometimes we don't stop and listen to our clients or customers. This is very important, because the more they talk, the better our relationship will be, because we're going to understand what they really need. Sometimes if they're not buying from you, you think the relationship is not as good as it should be. But if they start telling you things where they're struggling or hurting, that's a good way for you to understand how to help them. Customers want to give business to people that help them. And so if you're not selling a lot to your client, maybe you need to stop listening, start listening to what their really needs are at the time. What do you need to listen for? Well, you need to find out, are they having issues within their plant or facility? Is it something going on that they're struggling with? Maybe they're having problems with the floor or their roof, or maybe they've got equipment issues. You need to know which of your ING members could come to their rescue. So if you don't know your members, then when they have an issue or problem, you're not going to know who to recommend. So I would really encourage you as a member to look at your member list, get on your chapter page and look and make sure you understand what your fellow members do. And if you're not sure, ask them. So the next time you go to a meeting or a fuel meeting, be intentional, because the more you know, the more you can be a resource to your customer. But let's pause for a minute. What happens when you help your customer with a specific problem within their plant? What happens? What happens when you help another ING member out? Think about it. If you help your customer with a specific problem within their plant, even if it's not the service or product you sell, you become much more valuable to them. So when they're looking to purchase what you're selling or provide, they're going to put you at top of the list because they see you as a resource. And guess what? What happens when you help your other members out? Guess what they start doing? They start helping you out. If you've never gotten anything from the ING, maybe it's because you've never given anything to another member. Step 2. So not only do we need to start listening to our clients so we'll know how we can help our fellow members, we also need to make sure you provide your customer with information about your ING chapter. We have a lot of marketing collateral that you as a member could utilize. We have a great manufacturer's card. You can find this card right on our website. You could even order some of these cards and put your name on it and your company name on the back of it. That way, when you're in front of your client, you'll have an easy way to introduce them to the ING. So what should you provide them? Maybe our marketing rack card. You could also maybe hand them your ING chapter list. I've seen some of our members actually print them off and say, hey, these are the members in my chapter. Some people don't feel comfortable handing them all that information. They may just give them a specific member's cell number and email. And then they'll also tell the member, hey, I was with my client today and they had a specific need, so I provided them your name and number. So these are 2 or 3 different things that you could give your client. But let's pause for a minute on this as well. If you hear of an issue within your customer's plant or facility, one of the things that you need to do is when you hear about this, you want to connect them. Don't just say, hey, I've got a member in my chapter, here's his name and number. You may want to take him to the plant or facility. You may want to shoot an email to your client and include your other members' information and copy that member. Be proactive and don't just provide a name. Go that extra step for your fellow member and either take him to a meeting with you or set up a call where you can be on the call with them, shoot an email and provide that information and copy your fellow member. Take that extra step. And if you do that, you're going to start to build a relationship with not only your customer, but your fellow members. And this is going to pay dividends for you as you continue to build your network. So last thing, step 3 is to invite them to one of the ING Fuel meetings. If we have lunch meetings every month, why not invite one of your customers? We had a chapter meeting the other day at our fuel meeting. We had a facility manager there. That's a great way to invite them to the fuel meeting and introduce them to your fellow members. That's a great way to do it. It also gives the customer a great lunch. And so it gives them an opportunity to get out of their plant or facility and to also be able to find those people that can help fulfill some of the needs that they have within their plant. So how do you invite them to fuel? Well, pretty simple. You can register them. When you're registering for your fuel meeting, you can add them to your registration. You can also, when you own your chapter page on the Industrial Network Group website, go to your chapter page, and on your front, on your home chapter page, there's all the events. You can click on the event link and actually email it to them and ask them to register. That would also provide all the information about the event, so they could add that to their calendar. And then you could also just call them and say, hey, would you like to come to my fuel meeting? If they confirm, then you can register for them. So just remember, it doesn't have to be very difficult. We just got to do it. So I would encourage you today, take action, get involved, introduce your customers to the ING and to your chapter. And if you do that, it's going to pay off for you. It's going to pay off for the chapter that you're involved with. Thank you.